If you enjoy the content, I would appreciate you hitting the subscribe button and checking out my socials.
The year is 2024 and Valve has reintroduced the iconic map Dust2 back into the pool. We remember Long being a chaotic area contested by both CTs and Ts, but already on the defensive side, Vitality shows a high level of intuition and fundamentals, allowing the aggressive rifler in Flames to control and dominate. Hey, I'm Smirky, and today I want to look at Flames and how he defends Long on the CT side of Dust2, so let's begin.
You need a good site to buy and sell skins easily. Well, you're in luck, because today's sponsor is skin.land, and they have a limited $10 bonus you can grab. How to use skin.land? Well, it's easy. First, log into skin.land with your Steam account and set your trade link. At this point, you can view and buy the vast array of skins. If you click on a skin, you can compare it with the lowest price on Steam. Like this skin, for example, which is cheaper on skin.land. When ready, you can easily deposit your balance with a wide range of different payment options, ranging from Visa, PayPal, Bitcoin, or you can sell your skins and use code Smirky to get a free $10 if you sell skins for over $100. Once done, accept the trade and that's it. Thanks skin.land for the sponsor, and don't forget to check the description for the link and code. Let's begin with how Flames and Vitality take Long at the start of the round. On most gun rounds, Vitality tend to start with 3 players on Long to ensure control. One of the most popular strats they use to take Long is what I believe is the default Long take for most teams when using 3 players. In this, the first player throws a smoke on lamppost and a molly for door. The second player can molly blue and plays anti, and the third player flashes from CT, and it's worth noting these roles are based on the best spawns. In round 4, Vitality will use this take where FlameZ will be the first player, so he will bounce a smoke off this lamppost. When he reaches door, while running sideways he will molly it. The smoke is intended to give him cover as he crosses and defends from pit, giving the CTs a stronger hold on Long against Ts, and a molly on door to deny players from holding the corner and provide the CTs with a sound cue if someone goes through it. Our second player is FlameZ, and he will have a molly ready. In the scenario the Ts molly the smoke, or there's a lot of flashbangs coming from door, he can bounce this molly to land blue, making it difficult for the Ts to attack. The third and last player is Apex. Apex will just go ramp next to this box, aim around the middle of this lamppost, and then jump throw once player 1 is past the blue wall. This flash will allow his teammates to cross and blind any players trying to fight them. Afterwards, if the Ts do try to contest Long, Apex is ready with this flash to assist the team. Then he would likely go over to Long to help, but because there's nothing Long, he can save his flash and do whatever he wants. And it's worth noting, regardless of the role Flame is in at the start of the round, he will always be left to defend solo Long once they get it, but we will take a close look into that later. In round 6, Vitality will use the same take, but we will see it in action this time. All players will do the same roles as before, except this time, because there's pressure from the T side, Apex will throw this extra flashbang to blind Ts coming out door. Meanwhile, Spinks is trying to fight players coming out. FlameZ, who is the second player in the strat, will come over to corner and bounce this molly off this wall when the Ts start flashing, forcing players into the open for Spinks. Now at this point, you could pressure door with bullets and util, you could try peek behind the smoke, or take a big risk but high reward, like FlameZ where he pushes through the smoke. In this round it works perfectly as the Ts are focused on ramp and the smokes. Meanwhile, they are getting flashed, allowing FlameZ to run through the smoke for a double. Another take you can use to switch things up is a smoke for door, and the intention of this strat is to be used as a switch up, creating another puzzle for the T's to solve. In this, we will have a smoke for door, a molly for blue, and lots of flashes they will use to peek once the smoke has landed. The first player will throw a molly for blue. When his teammates have thrown the flashbangs and they are close, they can all peek out together. Player 2 will go to the right wheel of car, aim at the top left of this building, and left click throw. Afterwards, you can throw another flash while running, and join player 1 in peeking once the smoke has landed. Lastly, player 3 will throw an initial long flash when player 1 gets past the blue wall. Later, he moves down and quickly throws another flash for door once he gets past car and peeks with his teammates. Whenever Vitality are 2 players on long, a common strat they use was just a basic molly for door and flashes. Player 1 is going to come over to corner and quickly throw this molly and get into cover. In the previous takes we saw, this first player was trying to make their way into pit to try and get a deep position if the T's do execute long. But because the CTs would be greatly outnumbered against the T's trying to take long, the first player won't risk it, giving him the option to fall back, and the second player will throw the long flashes. But because FlameZ is the long anchor, he will come over to long to hold it, meanwhile Apex deals with short. Against Spirit, Vitality will try to use this strat, but will be met with resistance. Apex will throw the normal molly, and FlameZ will use a different flash, but will have the same idea as the one from ramp. However, when the corner smoke lands along with the many flashes, they return to site to take short. This reaction is great, because the likelihood of Vitality defending long in a 2v4 is very difficult, even for them. And as a general rule on Dust2A, if the T's have A long, you should have A short, and vice versa. And there are many times where you will be solo long. If that's the case, most likely resources have been diverted to controlling a different part of the map. So if you need to give up long, it's expected. Whenever FlameZ is solo long, he tends to throw a HE intended to hurt players holding corner, or tag them as they try to run out, and later a molly if there's no pressure. Again, you are solo long, so you are not expected to hold it if the T's force their way in. Now, once you have taken long, what do you do afterwards? Well, first we're going to look at some little tricks and util FlameZ will use. Typically when they get long control, FlameZ will throw some piece of util from corner, typically being a smoke. This smoke should discourage the T's from pushing through, and if they do with flashes, FlameZ is playing anti-flash at the corner, so he shouldn't be affected. Then once the smoke has faded, he will throw a Molotov behind it. In round 4 against G2 we can see something similar, where they have gained long control, so he will smoke off door, later molling behind it. A little trick you can do if you want to play aggressive is pushing out long into T spawn. In this round, Vitality has easily gained long control, and typically on a T side default, the T's would be playing something like a 1-3-1. So with this push, you could easily grab a kill. In this round, FlameZ will throw a HE behind his Molotov and peek, intended to hurt any players in this area, and use the cover of the HE exploding to peek. As he slowly creeps out towards long, his teammate near pit will throw this flashbang, allowing FlameZ to peek out to go for any kills. In this round, FlameZ doesn't find anything, but if he wanted to, he could think about flanking mid, and might catch T players crossing into short or making their way into CT mid. But in this round, FlameZ will play it safe. He will fall off, spam the left side of his car just in case there was a player hiding behind it, and then falls off. And I just want to quickly note, when you do have long control and the T's are executing short, it's not always the case, but there may be a T side player waiting for his T's to create noise on the site for them to later lurk out. You can't really divert all your attention to long when the T's are executing, but again, it's something you need to be aware of. In this round, FlameZ will try to help with the execute, gets a kill, but is later flanked from long. Now moving over to positions. By far, FlameZ's favourite position is to play corner. From this position, he can easily play anti-flash just in case the T's flash outdoors. He can jiggle to check if they are coming outdoor, and it also gives him the option to fall away if he needs it. FlameZ will throw his default smoke like he usually does, but he will later get flashed. But when he goes for his quick jiggle, he spots the T's trying to make their way out of the smoke. So with him at this position with the smoke up, he's able to kill any players coming out of this small entrance, leading to a massacre. And again, if you do need to fall off, that is an option. In this round, FlameZ is jiggling, but when he hears the T's rushing out of door, he doesn't want to get overwhelmed in an open position, so he will fall off a little bit, where him and his teammates on car can try to defend. Another position FlameZ might play is inside a pit. As discussed before, this is a really strong position as you're anchoring yourself down right inside a pit. The negative of this position though is that you are unable to fall away. However, if you dig yourself deep inside a pit if the T's know you're here, you can create a pretty powerful crossfire with your teammates on site. And now for some little niche positions I've seen FlameZ play, and one of them was on lamppost. I would say this angle is great as an off angle, as it's not very regularly used, and can be pretty weird as you're coming out of door if you're trying to pre-aim pit. And another great benefit of this position is that you can easily drop down into pit. It's not really common Vitality will go for door control, but if they do manage to have this area, you might see FlameZ bouncing back and forth on door, using the door as cover to be safe. If he does spot anyone outside long, he can easily fall away to corner, where he can make his next move. When watching FlameZ POV, I've noticed he's quite structured. As a team, Vitality have really structured takes and procedures for long, allowing players to react quickly within the system. FlameZ is quite safe. He tends to play a lot on corner, most likely valuing his life more than the area. And lastly, he's responsible. Vitality will consistently put FlameZ on long as the anchor, even when he has the worst spawn. For example, he might have a bad spawn, he will throw the flashbangs from sight, and then come over to hold long while his teammates leave. You need some creative ways of getting openings with the AWP. Check out this video I did, where I showcase at least 5 CT AWP openings you can do on each map. Apart from that, thanks for watching, cheers skin.land for the sponsor, and see ya in a bit.